Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. We're dropping right into the high-stakes, super dynamic world of esports today. And we're not just talking about playing video games, we're looking at how turning your gaming passion into real-world skills is actually incredibly relevant right now. Whether you're aiming to be a pro, a game designer, or you just want to know why your favorite streamers are so insanely good, you're in the perfect place. We're going to explore the core concepts of esports and, surprisingly enough, how they tie perfectly into physical education and health. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's kick things off with a staggering figure. Over $40 million. Seriously, let that sink in for just a second. That massive chunk of change was the total prize pool for a single tournament, the International 2021 for Dota 2. I think that brilliantly proves that competitive gaming is not just some weekend hobby anymore. It is a massive, highly organized industry that demands first-class athletes. And just like any traditional sport, reaching that top tier takes intense dedication, highly specialized skills, and a super deep understanding of the game.
To get to that championship level, we need a solid game plan. So here's our quest log for this explainer. Level 1, Origins of Esports. Level 2, the Esports Athlete Toolkit. Level 3, Strategies for the Win. Level 4, the Global Arena. And finally, the Boss Fight, where we learn how to dodge some serious rookie mistakes. Ready up.
Level 1. The Origins of Esports. From pixels to stadiums.
It's actually incredibly fascinating to see how competitive gaming evolved from simple, chunky little pixels into a massive global phenomenon. You know, you might think esports is a completely modern thing, but early competitive gaming kicked off way back in the 1950s. Games like EXO-X in 1952 and Tennis for Two in 1958 really set the stage. Then, jumped to 1972, and Stanford University held the very first tournament, the Intergalactic Space War Olympics. That same year, the Magnavox Odyssey brought gaming right into people's living rooms. By 1980, things were really heating up. A nationwide Space Invaders competition drew in 10,000 players. As we rolled into the 90s, PC gaming and LAN parties completely took over. And in 1999, we saw a huge leap when 1,600 players gathered in Germany for the Gamers Gathering. So yeah, gamers have been competing and building these deep communities long before we ever had high-speed Wi-Fi.
Level 2, the Esports Athlete Toolkit. Gearing up for the competitive queue.
All right, so now that we know the lore, it's time to check our inventory and our stats. You might not need to bench press 200 pounds to be a pro at League of Legends, but I promise you, your physical reflexes have to be absolutely superhuman. See, while traditional sports rely heavily on full body-eye coordination out on a physical field, esports is all about intense hand-eye coordination. We're talking about lightning-fast, precise, involuntary responses, stuff like dodging a sudden attack or clicking a tiny moving target in a fraction of a second. Players actually train these specific reflexes hardcore using tools like aim trainers or by grinding incredibly fast-paced games like Osu, Super Hexagon, or even Tetris.
Next up in your toolkit is your playstyle. And honestly, this is exactly what it sounds like. It's the unique way you apply your specific skills, your knowledge, and your preferences to a game. It covers the role you choose, your overarching strategy, your on-the-fly tactics, and even your personality. Think about it for a sec. When you squad up with your friends, what's your playstyle? Are you the hyper-aggressive player pushing the front lines? Or are you more of the strategic defender holding down the fort and supporting your team? Figuring out your playstyle is literally step 1 to mastering your role. But hey, you can't really develop a killer playstyle without mastering game mechanics. These are the underlying rules and systems that govern exactly how a game works. We're talking player movement, combat systems, specific objectives, and resource management. Here's the deal. Mastering mechanics is the ultimate dividing line between a casual player and a certified pro. The advanced players don't just know the rules, they completely exploit them. They adapt complex tactics based on exactly what their opponent is doing in the moment. Level 3, Strategies for the Win, because it is definitely more than just mashing buttons.
At the highest levels, esports requires real-world interpersonal and team skills that literally transform a group of solo players into a championship-winning team. Let's break down these essential player stats. First up, communication and teamwork. You have to coordinate your actions constantly, share insights, know your specific role, and always provide cover for your squad. Next is problem solving. In super complex games like StarCraft 2, this means taking map control and thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead of the enemy. Then there's self-belief. This is having the actual courage to admit your weaknesses and ask more experienced pros for guidance. And finally, self-management and resilience, the ability to stay laser-focused and manage your stress. And here's why this is so crucial for your education right now. These are the exact same skills you need for future STEAM careers. Esports is a direct pathway into fields like video editing, graphic design, event planning, and so much more.
I absolutely love this quote we pulled from the sources. Shouting at teammates through your headset might only get you so far, but explaining your plans, sharing your insights, and coordinating your actions with your team will. Let's be real for a second, guys. Nobody likes a toxic teammate. Raging in the voice chat is a guaranteed way to lose matches. But positive, crystal clear communication? Well, a rising tide lifts all boats, right? Good comms elevate the entire team's performance.
To really ground this concept, let's look at teamwork in first-person shooter, or FPS games, like Counter-Strike. Success here relies entirely on using voice chat or in-game pings to constantly update your allies on enemy positions and your own movements. You have to know your specific role. Are you the sniper hanging back to hold an angle, or the fragger aggressively pushing forward? A perfectly balanced team composition where absolutely everyone plays their part to provide cover and execute a shared strategy is totally vital for pulling off those amazing clutch victory moments.
Now, here is the ultimate PE and health takeaway for this entire explainer: self-management and resilience. I want you to think of this as your mental HP. At the very top of the esports world, the pressure is literally crushing. Players have to endure long hours of intense focus, and unexpected setbacks, like a sudden massive shift in game momentum, can happen in the blink of an eye. Maintaining your mental stamina, completely avoiding tilt, and not succumbing to stress, that is exactly what separates the winners of million-dollar tournaments from everybody else. Level 4, the global arena. Welcome to the big leagues. So, where are all these skills actually put to the test? Well, the landscape of esports has exploded in the last few years, mostly driven by faster internet and massive global viewership. And let me tell you, the big leagues are truly huge. We already mentioned at the International 2021 sitting at over $40 million. But then look at the Fortnite World Cup in 2019, a $30 million prize pool, where the solo champion, who was a teenager just like a lot of you, walked away with $3 million all to himself. Or the Honor of Kings World Champion Cup sitting at over $7.7 million. These are not just games anymore. These are global events with massive opening ceremonies that rival the Olympics. They're viewed by millions, and they present incredibly real, lucrative opportunities for young players today. Boss fight, dodging, rookie mistakes. Let's avoid that game over screen.
All right, listen up. To avoid that game over screen, we need to look at the absolute easiest ways you can throw a match. Let's do some quick coaching. Step 1, fix your comm lag. Do not stay silent. A lack of communication always leads to terrible teamwork. You've got to give timely callouts on enemy positions and constantly share info. Step 2, play your role. Ineffective role-playing completely destroys team coordination. If you're a support player, your number one priority is protecting your teammates, not chasing down eliminations. If you're a damage dealer, do not overextend without your team backing you up. And step 3, stop making hasty decisions. Poor decision-making, like engaging in a fight without checking to see if you actually have an advantage, or wasting your valuable resources without thinking about the long-term consequences, will instantly crash your team's chances of winning.
Well, we've covered a ton today. We went through the history, the mechanics, the vital team strategies, and the real-world skills that make up the incredible, fast-paced world of esports. So I want to leave you with this final question to chew on. What role will you play in the future of esports? Whether you apply this incredible hand-eye coordination and strategic thinking inside the server as a pro player, or you use that communication, resilience, and those STEAM skills to build a career behind the scenes in game design or event planning, the controller is entirely in your hands. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on this explainer, and I'll see you in the next match.